I'm about to tell you the fastest way to get faster at being fast on the drums. The introduction of drum-offs and gospel drumming and YouTube have let all of us know the true meaning of drumming, and that's speed, not musicianship or creativity or tone or having a good pocket. There's only one way to satisfy those urges as a drummer for pure, raw speed, and that's to go slow. What? That doesn't make any sense. But seriously, in order to get any pattern faster, we have to understand how the brain works, because most of the time we're not fighting against the pattern, we're fighting against our brain. We all know the age-old saying, practice makes perfect, and that's true to a point. Practicing something over and over the right way can make something very good. But you see, the thing about muscle memory is, for all intents and purposes, amoral. It doesn't know right from wrong, so it doesn't know when you're practicing if you're practicing with good technique, the right way, or bad technique, the wrong way. It's simply gonna learn it the way you're repeatedly practicing it. So if you practice poorly for a really long time, you become really good at doing something really bad. I want to take a quick minute and look at how the brain works, explain it to you, and then this is going to make a lot more sense in your practice time. Let's look at two different kinds of memory. We have procedural memory, or muscle memory, and we have declarative memory. Our procedural memory, or our muscle memory, is the part of our memory that's responsible for knowing how to do certain tasks, like your motor skills, basic things, walking, talking, crawling, riding a bike. It's a type of long-term memory. This type of memory, it doesn't involve conscious thought. You just know how to do it. If you learn to throw a ball and 30 years go by and you don't throw a ball, but then one day you pick up a ball after 30 years, you're gonna remember how to throw that ball. That's your procedural memory, or muscle memory. The other type of memory is declarative memory. Declarative memory has to do with facts and events that can be consciously recalled. For instance, your phone number when you were 9 years old, the name of your first grade teacher, your wedding anniversary. You don't want to forget that one. This is also the memory that's most affected by amnesia. For instance, a person can remember how to talk on the phone when they have amnesia, but they might not remember who they talked on the phone to. That's the difference between procedural memory and declarative memory. What does all this have to do with drumming? So when you practice, I'm sure this scene looks a little bit familiar. And if you're a teacher, it definitely looks familiar, because as a teacher, I'm constantly telling students, slow down, do it again. In other words, slow the process down and repeat it until the synapses can start firing and you can commit that to memory. So instead of practicing fast and furious and wrong, it's better to practice it slow and steady. The tortoise wins every time I read that book. For procedural memory, we have to go slow and give our brains time to carve a new pathway. We have to allow it the time to assimilate that information to make it into an automated task. Procedural memories are formed when repeated signals reinforce synapses. So when we practice fast, fast, fast to try to get those patterns fast, 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 all we're doing is practicing wrong, 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 and carving the wrong pathways in our brain. That makes it much harder later to come back and do it correctly. That's why it's harder as an older student to go back and relearn something that you learned wrong at a younger age. You not only have to reinforce the new task and make it automated, you also have to destroy all the old roadways. It's the equivalent of having to tear up a road, then repave the road. I would rather just pave a fresh road from the start. Without getting too deep into Fitt's model of skill acquisition, I do want to talk about a couple of the phases. We have cognitive, associative, and autonomous. The cognitive phase is when you're breaking the skill down into smaller parts at a very slow rate. The associative phase is repeating that skill until it's perfected. The more moving parts it has, the longer it's going to take for you to commit that to memory. So if you want to speed a pattern up, here's 4 tips. Go slow. Break it into smaller pieces. Take breaks and be patient. You have to give your brain time to process the information and make it an automated task. So when you're having trouble learning something on the drums, just remember, slow it down and do it again. Hopefully this has helped you realize a little bit about how your brain works and how that relates to your practice time on the drums. If you're looking for an organized and methodical way to see daily improvement in your drumming, you should follow the link below and check out the members area on the website. See what all my lessons have to offer. As well, download the free 30 Days to Better Doubles. It's a system that only takes 30 minutes a day, and I promise you, it will improve your double strokes. Tune in on Sunday for a fresh lesson, as well as on Monday, where I'll be answering more of your questions. Jump over to Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter and hang out with me there. But regardless of what you do, I'll see you here in the next video.